Hello and welcome to Radically Aligned. Oh, I'm so excited to have you on this journey with me. My name's Vicki Chisholm. I'm going to be your host. We're going to be exploring all things alignment in business and in your soul. We're going to be bringing together some amazing episodes to help you cultivate the alignment that works for you so you can have soul-aligned business success. But more importantly, we're also going to be bringing in guests for interviews so you can learn not just from me, but from experts all over the world. Are you ready? Let's go. Oh my gosh, we're back for another amazing episode. Thank you so much to all my amazing listeners and crew. This is just awesome. But today I've got the amazing Susan Jones Miranda with me. She's going to talk to you about human keys, genes, designs, playbooks, and all that freaking magic. But before we go there, Susan, please introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So yes, I am Sue Jones Miranda. I am the founder and the CEO of the Playbooks. And that's when everyone goes, well, what the hell is a playbook? So it's a hard copy book that I create for people that is a fusion of both human design and gene keys. And the reason why I created these books is they will teach you what the schooling system never did, which is you. Yeah, your natural essence, that soul alignment. So then you can leverage that in your life and in your business. So that's in a nutshell what I do.
Amazing. Love it. And I do love, so a little bit controversial. This might actually be a really interesting conversation. So I am one of these people that I like to receive information, but I will not have it dictate to me who I am. So I hear a lot of people playing the HD human design card. Oh, I'm this, therefore. And that story really fucks me off because it's not. That's a story you're choosing to buy into. It doesn't actually dictate who you are. So whether it be you have, this is my belief, nobody else's, but I'm very passionate about it. So it's one of those cases of, you can tell me that I'm an Aquarius and there are traits within my Aquarius personality that I go, oh, I really resonate with that. But that doesn't mean I'm going to have it dictate who I am as an individual. So with the playbook, how does this play out to help people in that kind of understand who they are, but not have that dictatorship?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. And I'm one of those that when someone comes to me and they're just like, human design, and I get it because there's so much noise out there where people are using it as a limitation and as an excuse. And that's not what it's designed for at all. And that drives me crazy because it's like you are missing the entire point.
Oh, thank God somebody else is on my page because
Yes,
I feel like I'm
absolutely.
going mental. Literally, I genuinely feel like I'm going mad with this because there are so many people out there going, oh, human design this or my human design's that, so I'm not going to do this. And I'm like, fuck off, wake up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So human design in itself is designed to be an experiment. So you can go and experiment with it and verify it for yourself. That's the point of it. And that's why, and again, this could be controversial. Loads of people have kind of bought into it being that shiny object and they've gone, great, I'm going to teach human design. And I've been on my journey or I've read a book or I've done a course, whatever it may be. And, I am generalizing here. And they've done it like, a year ago, 2 years ago. It just doesn't work that way. You have to live and breathe it. So you can experiment, play with it, and then verify it and actually understand it for yourself through your embodied experience.
I'm so fucking pleased that you've joined me on this podcast today because this is like my core message. Whether it's in your life, whether it's in your business, to be radically aligned doesn't mean that you follow somebody else's to-dos. It doesn't mean you follow somebody else's guidelines. What it means is you take the information that you want to take and you play with it in a way that actually works for you. So I teach that with the Soul Aligned Offers and Sales Strategy certification. And I literally had some of my students say, Vicky, but I need you to tell me what to do. And I'm like, I can't tell you what to do because you need to create it for yourself in this, in your way. We can't do it like there are so many sales strategists out there. Do this, do that, go here, go there. It doesn't work. We have to find our own way of doing things. So I love that you're putting this out, and I love that you're on the same page as me, because I know my views are very different to other people's.
Yeah.
So with the playbook, I did see that you had some amazing people that have already created these for
Yeah.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed you had copies. Are those copies just like marketing copies to showcase what they do, or are they for sale?
So no, they are for sale. So we were at an event together last week, and so they are one of those products that actually, when you see them in real life and you hold it and you feel it, it's beautiful. So I called it is your soul's modus operandi. So it is like the Bible of you. It's a fusion, as I say, of both human design and Gene Keys, and it helps you remember your unique operating system, which is exactly what you're saying. The reason why the books are personalized and unique for each person is because none of us are exactly the same as the other person. And so we have to activate the healthy expressions of our internal frequencies, which is when we will go, oh, yes, this bit works for me, this bit doesn't. So I'll leave that. And that's when we start to really discover our own process. Yeah. And so that's when we're discovering our own process and what our unique gifts and strengths and talents are, we can give those to the world, which is kind of, I believe that's what our purpose is. Yeah. We've got two contracts, which is to give and to receive. We've got those lessons that we're here to learn, but we've also got those gifts that we're here to contribute to humanity. So the intention of the book is so you've got something there on your bookshelf, on your coffee table, forevermore to dive into, which means you don't have to rely on that external noise to give you those answers that we all see. We're human at the end of the day, and we all have moments where we have wobbles, where we wake up and we kind of forget, and just diving in, having something you can reach to in that moment is what the point and the purpose of the book is. So yes, those that you saw, so everyone that you saw on that stand have received their book. There was actually, so Jackson and Elizabeth and Sarah that were on the stand. I presented them with their books at the big festoon. So
lovely. Okay.
Danny's book is for display, but she did have hers in January 2024. So I just reprinted her. So I've got that as display. And then obviously myself and my daughters were the other one. And they are display books. But we do have our own copy. They're just a bit battered and bruised where we've used them so much.
Oh, bless you. So I love the idea of this. And I love the fact that it's getting people to actually get playful with their soul rather than just, well, my mum said, and it's like, no, what your mum said is not who you are. What someone, I mean, I've been told my entire life, you're just like your grandmother. You're just like her. You couldn't clone her anymore and what you've done. And I was like, right, okay, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I may resemble her in lots of different ways, but I am very unique in my own way of doing things. So ultimately, I suppose a question for the audience here is, human design is very much spoken about in the online space, but something we don't hear as much of about is the gene keys. And what I'm really interested to learn a little bit more from you today is what the gene keys are, so the audience understand, but more importantly, why you've combined them the way that you have, because I love the unique spin that you've thrown on this.
Yeah. So human design, I see it is your unique operating system. So it's how you naturally operate. Okay. So, we're always talking in terms of frequency and energetics in the purpose of this conversation. And Gene Keys is more of the deeper dive in who you come here to be. So when we fuse the two together, we've got that deep inner journey of who am I? Who have I come here to be? Again, talking in terms of frequencies, healthy expressions, unhealthy expressions, shadow gifts, whatever terminology we want to call it. And then the human design of how we come here to operate. So actually, Gene Keys is the sister of human design. So the creator of Gene Keys, which is Richard Rudd, was a student of Ra's. And he, many, many, many years ago, he owned the rights to human design UK. which he ended up giving back because then he developed the Gene Key system. So
Yeah.
when you look at your human design chart, you'll see you have your incarnation cross. And that's what Richard Rudd was obsessed with, which is your sun and your earth, which is 70% of you. So
Mm.
it's the real essence of you. And that's where the genius activation sequence of Gene Keys came from. So it is, I see it as the sister system. It's another approach to kind of understand you and your authenticity, your truth. Again, whatever terminology we want to use within this. So bringing the two together. So my journey started with human design. And I was like so many people, I was like, I'm a generator and I'm 6'2". Great. And I didn't dive into the nuances within the charts, the body graph, which is where actually the beauty is. And then I got bored and I was like, well, I know I'm a generator and I'm a 6'2". I don't even really understand quite what all of that means, but I noticed. So when someone could ask me, I could say, oh, yes, I know I'm a generator and I'm a 6'2". So I left it. And then I discovered Gene Keys, and Gene Keys gives you language. It's a lot more meatier. When you create your profile, which is free, you get like a written explanation. And I was like, I love this. So my background is in English language teaching. Language is like really important for me.
Absolutely.
And then human design kind of came back round and I kind of looked at the two together. And this is before I knew that it actually is an extension of human design. And I went, wow, I can see how these really blend together. And that's why within the playbook, I wanted to go to that depth to do, have that deep dive within them. I just
Love it.
don't see, and I've said this for such a long time, I don't understand why more people are not fusing the two because they just complement each other so
Mm.
well.
I think there is also an element here though that a lot of people just get really overwhelmed because there's
Yes.
so much information.
Hmm.
Like, especially in business, you're not
Mm.
just doing your marketing, your offer suite, your pricing, your sales process, your systems, your connections, your automations, your visibility, your
Hmm.
PR. We've already got a freaking lot on our to-do lists.
Yes.
And then in the online space, it's like, oh, but if you go and work with human design, you're then going to be able to grow your business because you will, and then enter in whatever bullshit you're going to be fed, right?
Yeah.
But then you get to add in the Gene Keys as
Mhm.
well. And then you've got all the personal development stuff to do. Plus, you've got to do the mindset. And then, oh my God, you absolutely have to do the energetics.
Mhm.
So no wonder people are overwhelmed. It's so much information.
Oh God, absolutely. I mean, my big mission within all of this is to redefine the education
Yeah.
system. So, the good old Daniel Priestley is talking about how the schooling system at the moment, it's still, with the Industrial Revolution. So we're really creating a schooling system and sending our children through that schooling system where they're designed to go out to work. But it's not, and we know we have to change this. And so the idea this is a long journey, and I get this is not a just me
Oh
journey, but
no.
the playbooks that are foundation of this is actually, can we educate and raise our children in alignment with their purpose?
Yeah, that would be
From
amazing,
that
wouldn't it?
age. So
Yeah.
we, as you say, whatever age, I'm going to be 47 at the end of this year, we're not having to do all of the work, as you say, with all of the systems, etc., within business, because we've actually been educated, we've been taught, we've been raised in alignment with our purpose. So we've got this deep sense of knowing, like Danny Wallace, like she's such a great example, which is why she has the success that she does. So I call her like the joy junkie. When I dive into her chart, the essence of her is all about joy. That's her gift to the world. So everyone that stands in her world, it's like that's how we feel. That's why we resonate with her. And that's why we love her the way that we do and why she's created the success that she's created. So
Mm.
Jackson Feely, like the essence of him is all about change. He is, or they are, the change maker. So it's that. And again, I know the books as they are, we can't give that to our children or to parents of children or teachers of children. But if we can just, and I know it's a lot about the work that you do as well, really support people and change the education system so it is more about that guided discovery and less about tests and exams. So it
No,
is
I
more,
totally get
yeah,
you. I think we might be going off a bit of a tangent. For
yes,
those that listen to this podcast are not necessarily in the school system, they're in business. And I
right,
do believe that they share the same values that we
yeah,
do as entrepreneurs. We know there is more to this
yeah,
schooling system. I mean, I've pulled my daughter out of school. I'm like, I'm not even
yeah.
entertaining it anymore because it's
So
just,
you can
you
even
know, so
overlay that on business. Yeah.
yeah.
So when we learn us and our natural rhythm, when we learn us and what our deep purpose is, and we bring that through our business, like it creates such a difference.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
this is where I share, well, let's get your offer suite into alignment first.
Yes.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of people will come and they're like, my offer's not selling, this is happening, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm like, okay, tell me
Mhm.
about your offer. What's happening with your offer? And I
But
can feel it as soon as they start
yeah.
talking to me. The offer isn't lighting them up. The way they're delivering isn't lighting them up. The way that they are showing up in the world isn't lighting them up because they haven't created from a soul aligned perspective. So this is where I thought the human genes,
Yeah.
the human design and the gene keys is quite an interesting thing to do
Yeah.
because whilst I don't agree with using any form of label to
Mm.
live your life by, it's like having a Bible and listening to the Bible and doing everything by the book in the Bible. The
Yeah.
Bible there again is not there to tell you how to live your life.
Yes.
It's there for faith and guidance. Well,
Yeah.
some of it is. It depends on who's teaching it and what they've thrown else in it. But you know, I'm it really is about finding that soul aligned way of living a life of integrity,
Yeah.
authenticity, connection, and bringing that into the business world. So what on earth took you from being a teacher in English language to stepping really into something completely different and launching a business with it?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always had, like one foot in the spiritual personal development door. So I've always kind of been interested. So I had my own English language teacher, it's such a mouthful, training and recruitment company. So that was an international company. I worked with schools abroad. I had accredited courses where my students would come in, get accredited so they could get visas abroad, etc. Swimmingly well, great. So we're going back. So my daughter's going to be 9. So we're going back 9 years where it all changed because I remember it was one night I literally woke up to breastfeed her. So she was still super, baby. And there was just a voice and it was literally like, said it. And what I remember in that moment was just this wave of relief of just like, oh my God, like, yes, that's the answer for my what next. And I wasn't even necessarily consciously thinking about it. And then, of course, the other thoughts come in. Oh, what will my husband say? What about money? What about this? What about that? And then I got up, fed her. And then the next morning, I just remember that feeling, that real deep feeling of, it was almost like this real, like exhale, sigh of relief. So I shared it with my husband, and he was surprisingly supportive. Within 2 months, I'd sold that business and then stepped into coaching, mentoring, bringing in elements of human design. So I've been in my human design experiment for 10 plus years. And then, yeah, that's just kind of maneuvered and unfolded. End of 2021 is when the Playbooks came to existence, which was another pivot in it. But it was just hearing that voice, and it was an actual voice. And then what I remember the most was that feeling, that sensation. And it was an almost like, I have to follow this, which is the essence of what we teach, isn't it? That inner authority, that internal voice as to those external authorities and external voices.
Love it. Absolutely love
Mm,
it. So with the transition then from doing the recruitment and training business
mm.
into this business, what were the steps do you feel that led to you to becoming more aligned in your processing with how you're going to run a business? Because you'd run a business traditionally,
Yes.
you'd run it through what
Mhm.
people told you to do, followed
Yeah.
processes, followed procedures, didn't make you happy at the end of the day because you were time consumed and time bound. So
Mhm.
what was the difference between going from doing what you should do, then
Mhm.
leaning into the but I want to do this?
Yeah, so it really was just tuning in to that inner voice. So again, I was applying, I was on my personal experiment, wasn't
Yeah.
teaching human design whatsoever. It was all for me at
Yeah.
that point of time and playing with it. Yeah, kind of learning, oh, so what does this mean? And how does that apply to me? and really my inner authority. So I'm what's called an emotional authority. And so learning to live in alignment with that and use that. So yes, you're absolutely right. The business before, it was very much like, right, I've got to get up at this time, got to put the hours in. I wasn't enjoying it. And I knew I wasn't enjoying it, but I didn't know another way. And
Mm.
so it has been a lot through experimentation, playing, and getting distracted. We all have, by those shiny objects and those external noises, and then having that space of reflection going, oh, I see why, because I was chasing that and I wasn't actually tuned into this,
Mm.
and allowing this to be my like guidance, to be the trajectory that I'm then going to follow. Yeah.
I hear you. I totally hear you. So, Sue, in terms of human design and the gene keys, when would it be the best time for someone to kind of, what kind of state would, what kind of, I want to say state of mind would they
Yeah.
be in when they're ready for it? But it's more about when would they be ready for it? Because I know, like, I've been doing spiritual work and alignment work for several years now.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I've really taken away from it is that if someone isn't ready to listen to their inner voice,
Yeah.
this is the worst experience they could ever have with me,
Mhm.
because then they're not willing to let go
Mhm.
just because they're not ready. It's no judgment. They've just not reached that point yet where they're ready to actually finally listen within. So when would be the right time for someone to know that they need to lean more into exploring with the human design and the gene keys to bring out the best of who they are?
Yeah. It's so when they're at that point where how and what they're doing is not making them happy. And when I say, I don't mean we're all going to live in this state of joy forevermore,
No.
but actually what you're doing is not lighting you up. What you're doing, you know, I'm sure you've had that. I still have a little bit of burnout. I still, where I push myself a little bit too much. Like that's natural, but it's overall how and what I do brings me so much joy and I love it. So it's when they're at that point and they're looking for a framework that can support them, because ultimately that's what human design especially can give you, is this framework that will help you, because it can switch your logical mind on board in understanding your energy. So they have to be open to that there is a different way. They have to be open to actually we are energetic beings, and that's what we want to like shift into alignment with. Because there
Yeah.
are, as you know, there are the people out there, and I'm sure they're not listening to your podcast, that are just an absolute no to all of that. But they're at the point where they want to play a different way, that they're
Absolutely.
really ready and willing
Yeah.
to experiment, which is what we were saying in the beginning. It's not going to give you that quick fix. You've got to go out there and play with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when I kind of, so I pulled the rug on my previous business in 2016 just to focus on my family because my family really needed me. I was in complete burnout. I literally had to spend 3 months on the sofa because my body, my mind, and my soul were just done. I just had to preserve every bit of energy that I
Yeah.
had just for my children. And it was going on that journey that led me to where I am today. And it really is a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
So for me, it was that crossroads of I made a decision of, well, something needs to change because
Yeah.
I'm not willing to carry on the way that
Yes.
I am. So that was my pivotal
Yeah.
point of you change your life now or you carry on.
Yeah.
And this is not going to end well for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it to be to the point where people are waiting for that.
Mm.
They're
Hmm.
waiting for that rock bottom before they decide to climb back out of the gutter again. Because I just
Hmm.
think there's better ways to do it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Even for me, when I was in my past business, I wasn't at rock bottom. I was just like in this belief. So like part of my deep core is like delight of life, and just in this belief of like, we get to enjoy all of this. Do you know what I mean? Even in terms of the work that we do, which again goes all the way back to our children. If we can raise them where actually they can feel the joy in what they do and kind of start to see a world where it's not that 9 to 5 hustle and grind. There's a variety of different options for us all. And so it's the same for us. And that includes those in business. So if you're in business and you're feeling that it's a bit hustle and grind, but without that connection to purpose, like that's the bit that you change first and foremost. Which actually, like, so I asked to create your chart because I wanted to, and so I don't really look at. Yeah, I think you were a generator 1-3. I don't necessarily look at that. I go into the chart. So your sun is gate 30, which is literally about that. You are here to help people connect to their desires and dreams. You're like this little fire starter in their life, a little like in a nice way, a little like rocket up the bum of like do that. So that's why I laugh at this, because you sit there and laugh now, but it's like, well, I love it when I see people that are doing what they've come here to do, and then
I
it
can't
creates this
wait
like,
for my
oh, of
clients.
course.
I can't wait
Sorry.
for my clients to replay this.
Yeah. And that's what makes me laugh, because I look at that and I go like, oh yeah, like, but of course. So if I was to create your playbook, your words on the front would be along the lines of like fire starter. I wrote a couple down. What were my other ones? It was like fire starter. Oh, I can't find them now.
Firestarter is just bloody perfect for me.
Yeah,
It
it was
really
that.
is.
Yeah, and it's this real. So it's in your solar plexus, so it is very emotional, okay,
Mm.
for you as well. And so it is kind of understanding the broad range of that emotional spectrum.
Yeah.
And actually, for you, a lot of it is around allowing those intense experiences,
Yeah.
because that's what will drive you to your dreams. So
Absolutely.
that's you first and foremost in your life, where you've become embodied. So then you bring that out and you can teach others. So yeah. So for those that are listening, if you want, a little firecracker up your bum
Yeah.
to
It's
shift
really
into
interesting because
connection with your dreams, yeah, go on.
sorry, something just came into my mind there, and I was like, fuck, I need to ask that, and it's just fucked off. But no, 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 no. Because there was something I was going to connect with that. Oh, please bring it back. I feel like it was a channeled thing that just came
Mm.
through, but please bring it back. There was something in it with the, oh, I don't know now, it's gone. I'm really pissed off now because that was a really valid point that I wanted to share because it would have led the conversation into a path that needed. Fuck's sake. Because I was still listening to you, so it went.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll have to come back to me and we'll have to do it another time. But being soul aligned to what you do and how you help others is one of the most important things you can do in business. And this is why I wrote my book on it, because I'd say I'd spent about 9 years of business listening to other people's voices, listening to what they needed. And when I started to reflect, so when I first started holistic therapy, EFT specifically,
Mhm.
um, my mentor taught me to do it a specific way, but my brain made me process it in a different way.
Yeah.
So I will take the information and I make it work in the right way for me because I can't follow somebody else's instructions because my brain doesn't work like that. But what I
Mm.
didn't realize was as my survival tool, I've been doing this for most of my life. I will take the information, I will find my own way to play with it. And this is what I'm teaching. This is why in my
Mm.
certification, my clients were like, Vicky, I just need you to tell me what to do. And I'm like, I can't because you need to learn to listen to yourself.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you're not listening to yourself and you're following everyone else's structure, yeah, you can follow the framework. But when you unpick that framework, you've got to find your own flow with this.
Mhm.
Because if I sit here and create you a sales strategy, based on what I feel that you should do, but you're in a space of resistance at that point, you're not going to fucking do it.
Exactly.
So we've got
Yeah.
to make sure that everything that you're doing is in alignment with where you are. And if you are in resistance, then let's bloody break that wall down.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's also as well with what you're saying and with what you do, it's like that's how your energy gets infused in it, because you're not, if you just again, if you said to me, right, do this 1 2 3 4 5, and I went, okay, 1 2 3 4 5, like there's no connection there, there's no feeling there, there's no energy there. So therefore, when I do it, it won't have the same impact as when you do it,
mm,
because it's all. Whereas if I go, oh, do you know what? I'll do 1 2. Not sure about 3. I might adapt that, tweak that, do that, and then do that. Like it's in connection with me. And that's how, yeah, again, what I said in the beginning, like we've got all these beautiful gifts to give to the world, and that's how we give it.
it
And that's how
is.
we're going to change the world
And it's just
is,
come back to me.
oh,
It's
go
just come
on.
back to me. So the connection that I have
Mm,
taken from the I knew I was a generator anyway, but I
Yes.
could never get the numbers right and always forget because it doesn't stay with me. It
Yes.
doesn't, I don't need that to stay with me.
Yes.
But one thing that came through was actually, even though I am very much in the solar plexus of feeling, um, I'm actually clairsentient. So my psychic abilities are from feeling. I can literally tell where someone is at in their business just by the words they speak to me and the vibration, because I feel first, then I see, then I hear and unpick and things like that. So it makes sense for me to be in that space. But again, I don't, again, about that soul alignment, we take the information, don't we? If we take the information, we go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to make this work in my own way, and you don't follow the rule books, you're going to have a much happier fucking life.
Yeah.
And business
Yeah.
is going to be so much more fun too.
Do you know what? You hit the nail on the head there. It will be so much more fun. And I think for me that's the like what I infuse in it. It's like, do you know what? And again, when I was saying I had the old business and then moved into this, it was because like this is really boring. I don't want my life and what I do in my life to be really boring. Most people get up and go to work and they're bored like throughout the day. That's why they reach for like alcohol and other tools outside of that to kind of numb themselves. And it's like, no, 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 no. Let's just back it up a little bit. And you know, it does take courage, we know that, and it does take like that little bit of grit and you know that tenacity and resiliency. We know all of that, which is why having support can help us, you know, in those moments.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. It's like the new Business Ascension Arcana deck. It's not your typical tarot, but it is a tarot for business. Has it been created in the way with all the different pieces of? No, it's been created in my way because that's what's needed to be able to drive the message for the business. And guess what? It's fun. People really love it. The accuracy has been 100%. The messages that are coming through are divine. It leads to energetic shifts. It gives people more of a purpose and alignment. And I would much rather be creative and bring things to the table in business that align with me and how I function than carry on traditional bullshit that actually doesn't change anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one thing that specifically with human design and gene keys and with the playbooks that a lot of my clients have said, it's like, and I kind of always share it in this way, like we all have this inner knowing. We know we do. So we all have this feeling in us. Do you know what I mean? From when we were little kids. But we sometimes choose not to listen to that again because of the external noises, program conditioning, da. And so, yes, when we have something like your deck, when we have something like the playbooks, that reflects back to us that feeling, that's when it's almost like it's like, oh shit, I can't hide now. And that I honestly believe is what gives that confidence and that courage to follow through, which is when the magic happens.
Totally. Absolutely love it. So for those that want to dive in and play with the gene keys with human design and get a better feel for who they are so they can have more fun in business and be more aligned, where would they find you?
The best place is Instagram. Yeah. So the best place is to go follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook as well. That's absolutely fine. Facebook is my random one, but Instagram, I post a lot of value and teachings for both human design and gene keys. So it's a great place to kind of, you know, get started, feel my energy, feel my vibe. And then of course, if you know, want anything further than that, you can just reach out to me in the DMs.
Brilliant. So what's your handle for Instagram?
It is Sue J. So I'm always very long with things. So it's Sue J Miranda. So Miranda, and then it's _ Playbook Revolution.
Okay, brilliant. So go and check her out. I'm sure if you just type in Sue J Miranda, you'll find her.
Yeah.
And let us know what your thoughts are on today's episode because it's been a bit wild. I love it. I love being able to have conversations that are not deemed as an attack or anything. They're just open and free flowing. So thank you, Sue, for joining me today and being open to my controversial questioning.
Oh, 100%. I love it.
And yeah, so those of you listening, make sure you feedback to us your thoughts about today's episode. Go and follow Sue on any of these socials, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now. That's a wrap for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. All these episodes are created in line with my book, Radically Aligned. Go check it out on Amazon, grab a copy, and let's get you started. At the back of the book, they'll also find a QR code where you'll get access to some amazing resources. You don't want to miss it. See you in the next episode.